I love to talk to you guys on my travels to work. I have a question. Do any of you have kind of like mind game practices to help you not go down rabbit holes that don't make any sense? Like people, including myself, that like scenario stuff, like something happened and then you go off in so many different branches of things that are not even like, even some of them are like fantasy, not even possible to happen, but yet you spend time on like the conversations that you would have with that person that's the conflict, and yet you may never even encounter that person to have that conflict, let alone have those conversations, and yet you're focused and spending time on that dialogue with yourself. I can't be the only one that does that. And when you do that, do you catch yourself? And then when you catch yourself, do you find that if you don't try to reroute the way you're thinking or reroute the dialogue that you're playing in your head, do you find yourself back somehow like you just snuck around the building and now you're back, right? Like you just kind of went in the garage and then eased your way back to the conversation again. I do that. I think I catch myself, and then I think, all right, I'm over it now, and I'm going to think about something else. And I don't even know why I was thinking that. It's not even something that could happen. I wouldn't even see that person. The person has nothing to do with this. It couldn't even happen. Like, why are you going down this rabbit hole? So, what I started doing, because just telling yourself to stop thinking something doesn't help you stop thinking about it. It just doesn't. But I've tried that approach, Uh, but what I came up with, which is a complete like mental um, visual diversion, is I started thinking about train cars. Like you're on some kind of trip somewhere. And when I get going down kind of a negative path, when I get going down where I'm having conversations with non-existent people, I'm having conversations that aren't likely ever to take place, and I'm running that dialogue, and I'm running my retort and my stand on the subject and all that stuff. When I'm doing that, and I'm telling you, I don't think I'm the only person that does that. I hope I'm not the only person that does that. Otherwise, commit me. But what I do is I ask myself why I want to be in that train car. Like, why did I stop in this train car? Why wouldn't I want to be in the train car that's playing music? Why wouldn't I want to be in the train car that's set up kind of like a library environment with soft music and books and comfortable chairs? Why wouldn't I want to be in that car? Or why don't I want to be in the car that's playing, kind of dance music and people are just having a good time, and you can hear like the clank of like silverware on dishes and glasses clinking together because people are celebrating. Why wouldn't you want to be in that car? Or why wouldn't you want to be in the car where it's just peaceful and there's a big fluffy plush ottoman chair and ottoman in a room that also is where like your bunk room or whatever? Why wouldn't you want to be in that car? No, you walk through this car that has all this negative energy and you decided you're going to hang out there. And by doing that, I've just visualized all those other cars. I've just visualized myself walking through the train. I've just visualized myself stopping in the train car that's the most unpleasant of all the train cars available to me. And now, what I was originally thinking, I'm not thinking anymore because my brain went on to a different subject, a totally different subject that was offering me opportunity to use my visualization skills, right? Now, the other thing is if you forget, like say you're on a tear and you're just like going on and on and on, and you're really like you're stuck in this loop, right? Especially people like me who are like doing daily chores, and it's easy to get on a loop and then just it carries out through the entire time you're on your chores. If you lose your train of thought, and this is one of the practices that I just started doing probably in the last year, and I'm so grateful that I stumbled on the mindset of this is I used to rack my brain to remember what it was I was thinking about. Okay. So somehow I was gifted an opportunity to move on, change the subject, right? And instead, I deliberately sat and tried to remember what it was that I was focusing on so that I could get back on the tear. So I could, and this is when I started using kind of this train analogy approach. And I'd be like, and then I would often, if I remembered what it was that I was, on a tear about, I would get right back on it. And, even repeat the conversations that I already once ran through my head that were never going to happen. Like the person that I'm even like imagining having this conversation, this heated conversation with, I'm never even going to talk to, whether it's related to that subject or I don't even know the person. Like imagining you ever like make a phone call to say customer service and you're mad about something that you bought and it like broke for the fourth time and now you're calling customer service to just ream them out, and by the time the person answers the phone and does their whole intro spiel, you're already yelling at them, right? It's that kind of thing. Like I want to make sure that I can tell myself, get out of this car, get off this train car, move on to the next train car that's much more pleasant. And then, you know, help yourself kind of visualize being in a train car. Like I always visualize um like a rich red, deep red velvet and woodwork when I think of these kinds of train cars. Um, I don't know, I guess from movies maybe, because I've never even seen a train car like that. I've never been on a train car that, I've never been on that kind of train where it's like a traveling train, like where you would have bunk space and dining hall or whatever. But I've seen them in movies, so I guess that's where I get my visualization. But so that makes it kind of fun because I can be creative on top of what little bit I know from a TV or a movie. So anyway, I don't know if that's helpful to anybody, but I thought maybe it'd be interesting to share. And if anybody else has kind of mastered any kind of mind tricks to help them stop traveling in the direction that they're traveling in if it's negative, and especially when it's imaginary, that's the worst, right? It's the worst. All right, have a great day.